to Babes of Quinte. I'm Katie, and that's Kay. We are your underqualified babes chatting with qualified people to learn more about the baddest and brightest people and events in the Quinte area. But first, let's catch up.
Okay. I wrote notes because I actually have things I want to talk about.
I have no notes.
I have notes.
Okay. Welcome to our podcast. We're back.
Yay.
Still kicking.
Are
Episode 14.
Are we still kicking?
Yes. Thriving.
I mean, that's a reach. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've been pretty thriving lately.
I feel like we've been doing really well.
I'm like, I have a new hobby.
Yeah, we're crafting hard.
I am like, it's like fall hit, and I'm like, yes, crafty bitch time.
I know, like, I don't have to feel bad for sitting and crafting.
Yeah.
Because summer, I'm like, oh, I should be doing things.
No, and now it's like, okay, like it's totally like socially acceptable to be crafty in the fall.
I just have to tell you what I did. You said you had notes, so I just opened notes on my phone. Like, I had notes. I have no notes, so
I have notes.
I'm gonna put that away.
So I want to talk to you about this thing that I found on the internet.
I'm so scared what you're about to say.
And I'm just like floored by it, but I'm also like, I want to do it.
What is it?
So it's a butter board.
Yeah, no, butter boards. They're in right now.
Like a charcuterie board. So if you don't know what this is, it's basically like a charcuterie board with like butter like smushed onto it.
Yeah.
And then like toppings put into like different spots of the board.
Yeah.
And then you just like eat it with bread I think
bread.
Probably bread. That makes the most sense.
My nieces would love it. They love butter.
And I'm just like, I love butter.
I love butter.
So I'm thinking that I want to make a butter board.
I think you should make a butterboard. They're very pretty. I think I posted about it on Cool 100 because I was like,
I think that's maybe where I got the idea. And then I forgot that you posted it. And now I'm bringing it back. Like it's a whole new idea.
Yeah, like we had charcuterie boards. We had snackle boxes. And now we have butter boards.
Snackle boxes is like the coolest thing.
My
like,
mom
my
literally
ADHD loves that.
My mom bought a tackle box to put snacks.
I love Martha.
So on brand for Martha.
Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about is I signed up for Inked by 3 Oaks or Inked for 3 Oaks.
Yay.
3 Oaks. Anyways, long story short, I'm getting tattooed and I'm seeking donations for 3 Oaks.
Yes, bish.
Because I like getting tattooed and I like supporting local charities.
That's kind of like, because I signed up to do it 3 years ago. I ended up going away to New Zealand, so my mom got it instead of me. But I was like, I already have so many stupid tattoos. Like, why would I not get a tattoo that actually is for
like
a good
does
cause?
something?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell my parents tonight because my mom's not going to be happy, and she's gonna be like, "Why can't you just raise the money without the tattoo?" I'm like, "But what do I
not get a tattoo?" I'm at the first point in my life. Let me turn your mic down as you cough.
Edit that out.
I'm getting good at this where I can put the mics up and down when I cough.
Oh, wow.
Because I know what mic you're on.
Okay.
Things I've learned. What do I have to talk about? Movie review. I went to see Bros last night.
That's really cool. I really want to see that movie.
If you haven't seen the trailer to this movie, it is a gay rom-com with Billy Ish.
Oh, Aisher?
He's like really loud. He was in Parks and Recs and really relate to him. And it was just so good. It just brought me so much gay happiness. And I was like, I made my parents go see it. And it was great.
So I'm finding that straight love is like kind of giving me the icks.
That's literally what straight love would give you. I always am like, I guess I could. Because I'm pansexual.
Yeah.
People don't know what that is. So I just say I'm queer or I'm gay. So this whole thing, like when you're there's so many memes where it's like a swear jar and then like saying you're gay when you're actually bisexual because it's just so much easier and then people don't question you.
I just don't want to talk about it.
But I'm also not a 50-50 split. So
no. I think sexuality is like...
It's so fluid.
It's like, okay, but like what?
It's like spectrum.
It's a spectrum. It's like gender. It's like, I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't care.
At all.
I just like who I like.
And that's exactly. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh, I think I'm pansexual because I don't care what is underneath of any of this.
No,
Are you a good person? Do you smell nice?
Smells, man, they get me.
Oh, it's like the stripper I met in Montreal. I swear to God, I felt she was dancing to Partition. No, it was Halo by Beyonce.
Get it, girl.
And she was just like this beautiful, sparkly black woman.
I love this.
And she smelled like the basic bitch coconut smell.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one just gets me every single time. I'm like, if you want me to be yours forever, smell like the basic bitch coconut smell. It's like, I think it's like tanning lotion.
Yeah. I know exactly.
I love it.
I love it. It's so comforting because I started using tanning lotion way too young, but story of my life. That's my thing. And the thing is, everyone needs to go see Bros. Not that like that many people listen to us, but it's doing worse in the box office than it was supposed to, just because it's totally making straight men uncomfortable, and I'm over it. So go see it. It's so funny.
Well, maybe I'll actually go see it.
Yeah, do it. It was fun. I ate nachos. I love it. And there's no one in the theater. Like, it wasn't busy last night.
I guess it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. It was cheap night.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been to the movies since like pre-pandemic.
This was my first movie experience in like 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. I also just like have a hard time sitting for that long.
Yeah, I get that. I'm trying to be like, get out more now that I'm like back in town. I'm like, I should do
things
instead of just being stressed. Oh, excuse me, burpee today. Okay, this week's pod
was an experience. It was a ride.
It was a ride. Love Bob. Bob was my teacher in high school. And he scared the shit out of me, but he was also just so kind. I think it's good to be like,
I can see why he would be scary.
He just didn't take nonsense.
I appreciate that.
And I respected him for it, because I was like kind of a loudmouth and like awkward and all this stuff. So yeah, it was good. And I think it was just great. And
it was a really good conversation.
He has many stories, and we learned all about him. And then there'll be a bonus episode coming out on Friday, because we had a very like long episode with him.
It was a long
It was
talk.
like an hour and 45 minutes of talking. So we split it up so you don't have to listen to all of it at once. What else? Things that people say on my other podcast, like, subscribe, and follow. And
like, subscribe, and follow,
because it means a lot. And we do.
Oh, and reviews. Apparently reviews mean a lot.
Big. So if you could, wherever you listen to your podcast, like, do that, that'd be great.
And I'm down for all kinds of reviews, because I just want to get better.
Yeah.
Like, constructive criticism, please. Like, I don't want to be told that.
Yeah, don't say mean things, but
you can be constructive, but not mean.
Yeah. So everyone, please enjoy our chat with Bob Loiselle.
Yay.
Today we are interviewing a Quinte transplant originally from Oromocto.
Oromocto, New Brunswick.
Oromocto, New Brunswick,
which as
of 2016 had a population of just over 9,000. After getting out of New Brunswick, he completed a Bachelor of Education at Queen's University. His first teaching job took him out of the country to Periera Colombia.
When you say it with a Spanish accent, it sounds sexy.
Periera. I don't have.
You need to roll your R's.
I can't roll my R.
I can't do it either. My Spanish teacher always got mad at me.
Where he taught grade 8. After teaching for a couple years, he completed a Master's of Education and is currently teaching in Belleville, Ontario. He teaches social studies, history, politics, and economics. He was my grade 8 basketball coach and my teacher from 2009 to 2013. He was one of my favorite teachers who simultaneously scared the crap out of me, and I greatly respected. In 2014, he was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma, a type of skin cancer, which then spread to his lungs and brain. He went through chemotherapy and immunotherapy to fight the cancer. During his recovery, he got into cycling and proceeded to cycle in the Enbridge Ride to conquer cancer, which raised money in support of the Princess Margaret Cancer Centre. We asked him to come and tell us his story, and since he was my civics teacher, to lightly explain Canadian politics to us, including the importance of the upcoming election. You ready?
Which upcoming election?
Isn't there?
There's a municipal one. That's a local one.
Sure.
There's signs everywhere. That's all I know.
There's so many signs.
Have you seen the Leslie Knope one?
So many signs. What's that?
Do we like signs?
Have you seen the Leslie Knope sign?
No.
Have you watched Parks and...
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Where's the Knope sign?
Is someone just putting up Leslie Knope sign?
So I was driving the other day to Starbucks, and I'm driving down Donald Street. I did take a picture of it. I'm driving down Donald Street and there's this house and I was like, wait, whose election sign is that? It's actually nice. I pulled over and I'm like, oh my God, it's Leslie Knope. And I just died. So I'm going to write them a note and just tell them how much they're appreciated.
I think the more important thing is like who put that up, because that should be your next guess.
Is Leslie Knope in our town? That'd be a dream.
I wish.
I wanted to be her for a while.
I wanted to read all the books that she always kept behind her.
Goodness.
It's one of the effects of COVID is that everyone puts up their Zoom glory room. Yeah. And I'm always looking at the books. I don't care what the people are talking about, but what are the books and what's the memorabilia that they have behind them?
A really good idea.
I always just zoom from my bed. Yes, in the 9-10 meeting, I was sitting in bed and you just see like my lights, and that was it.
I assumed you were on a couch.
No, I was sitting in bed.
Okay.
With comfy pants on.
I love that. Okay, so you are a teacher. You were my teacher.
Yeah, I was.
Okay,
I actually remember the grade 8 basketball season.
Yeah.
I remember you getting injured and me not realizing. I'd saying, get back in there.
Suck it up.
Yeah, he called me Turtle. That's what you nicknamed me.
Beautiful.
And I think you were watching Entourage at this point in your life. You called me Turtle because I would grab the ball and just turtle on the ground on top. Like I would rip it out of someone's arms and turtle on top of it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I was saying that's a nicer thing to say. Otherwise,
Turtle
didn't
from Entourage
age well. It didn't.
Yeah, not great.
That doesn't age well.
I think my parents were letting me watch Entourage in grade 8, which is also questionable. But before that, and something you always told us was that you taught in Colombia before. Yep. So how did you end up in Colombia?
When I was a kid, my dad was a UN peacekeeper. So he actually spent time in Egypt and Israel and Lebanon, like right at the end of like all the wars, like in, I don't know, 1977 or something like that. And I thought that was cool. And he never took me with him.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you get to go? No.
That would have been awesome too. But no, I never got to go. So when I got to university, it was an option. I could, we had a student placement office and there was a job fair and I got hired into Periera Colombia, a little school. I arrived 30 days after Pablo Escobar was killed. And then after that, my next job was in Medellin, Colombia, which is the most beautiful city in the world. Strongly recommend.
Yeah, I've heard this.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful.
I've never heard of this place.
Oh.
Medellin?
No.
Like the Medellin cartel?
No.
Is that drugs?
Yes, it's drugs.
It was the Wild West, and I was so young and so stupid.
That
and
sounds great.
I barely recognized how dangerous it was. I mean, I had guns stuck at me a couple of times. I never told you the gun story.
I feel like there was gun stories, and because we had kids at Albert from Colombia, so I feel like
Juan
and Sarah, and so you would tell them, and they'd be like, yeah, that happened. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, occasionally, yeah.
Yeah. So wait, what happened? Why were you held at gunpoint? Oh,
there were guys stealing guns from the guards at the school. But this is in Medellin, so we taught like the kids of the future president. We taught the kids of people on the national soccer team.
Oh, wow.
So in the parking lot all day are some very, very heavily armed guards. And I had laryngitis one day, and so I tried to teach, obviously couldn't. So I'm leaving school, and I'm walking along the fence line. I can see a taxi pull up right in front of the school, and a couple of guys get out of the taxi. I'm going to catch that taxi. So I get down to the gate, and the guys from the taxi are walking up the hill, and I'm thinking, they don't look like they belong here. But they're reaching to their waistband, so I'm figuring they're pulling out a ID, and then they pull out the biggest gun ever.
No,
put it
no,
close to my face.
What did you do in this situation?
I'm positive I looked right down the barrel of the gun and crossed my eyes, and like you see, like Bugs Bunny do. And then very slowly I began to walk away because like if you run.
Yeah,
people get nervous and might fire. So I decided to walk away right to that taxi, which of course was the escape vehicle. So they grab the guns from the guards, because Colombia, believe it or not, has really, really strict gun laws. And they ran back to the taxi and they put the gun back in my face. And I made like, oh, I'm not looking at you. And as they were getting into the taxi, the multitude of heavily armed bodyguards. So they're there, I'm there. So I'm dead smack in the line of fire. They open up fire.
No.
The robber opens up fire. I hit the ground, and
you're talking to two like incredibly anxious people, and I'm just like, what is happening?
Sorry for the finger guy.
No, that's great.
It's fine.
We love the
it comes off really well over the air. And so the Roberts got away, and I have laryngitis, so I'm walking back to the school, and the principal comes up to me. He said, "Can you cover Deirdre's class? She's really upset. She heard gunshots." So
I was in the middle of the gunshot.
I'm in a senior math class, kids bouncing off the walls because there was a gunfight right outside. And the principal and the director go to see the guards. They, "How are you guys?" And they said, "We're fine. How's the teacher?" "Oh, she's good." No. "Bob, how's he?" He was right in the middle of it. And so they came to see me and said, "Bob, you want to come here?" And I looked at him and I said, "I want to go home," because I still had laryngitis. So they put me in a taxi. I got home, and as I was walking to my apartment, I went, "This is going to be the world's greatest story forever."
It is.
It really is.
And then I proceeded to drink a lot of rum.
Yeah, I don't know what else. I think
that's the most like sane thing you could have done at that point.
It was like I knew really early on this was going to be a really good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go.
I'm just like.
And that's it for today's podcast.
Yeah, we're done. Well, because everything. So we had a student like Juan, who was my brother's really good friend.
Yep.
I don't know what his dad did in Colombia, but Juan would always tell us, like, in the car his family drove, they couldn't put the windows down because it was bulletproof glass. So
well, they lived in Cali. So like, well, here's the story of the Colombian drug wars. After the death of Pablo Escobar, I actually went to the house where he was killed.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody knows
this
where
is just
it
getting so much cooler.
Everybody knows where it is. And I had such a beautiful apartment there, but the drug trade shifted down to Cali with the Rodriguez brothers, and they controlled it. So Cali is it's a nice city.
Would it be more dangerous?
It became more dangerous afterwards. It's just, we're talking multi-billion-dollar industry in the 80s and 90s. I think Escobar at one time was on the Forbes top 10 richest persons
probably
list.
While he was also on the most wanted list.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I do love his story because he was kind of like, what's the guy?
Robin Hood.
Thank you. Wasn't he? He like drugs. Poor, but drugs.
Yeah, I mean, he would buy food for the people in the poor barrios, and there's a barrio in one part of Medellin called Barrio Pablo Escobar. You don't go there if you're like me. You're a foreigner, a gringo, because it's just too dangerous.
Yeah.
But it's a different place today. Colombians are the warmest people.
Yeah.
The loveliest people.
They are. The ones I've met are just great.
I'm telling you, if you go to travel, make sure, obviously people go to places like Cartagena, but put Medellin on your list. It's
on my list now.
It's now on my list. Well, because Jeanette, my partner, she lived in Brazil for a year.
Oh, really?
So because she did like Rotary exchange.
Yep.
So she wants to go to Brazil, but I would love to go to like Colombia and then like Ecuador.
I think they both would be awesome.
Yeah. So putting them on my list. So how long were you in Colombia overall?
4 years.
And then where'd you go?
I did 1 year in Taichung, Taiwan.
How was that?
It's fun. Hot. Really, getting off the plane in Taipei was like walking into a wall of water. It's so humid.
Asian heat is crazy.
It is another thing of heat, but we were only there for 1 year. But to give you an idea, we moved from Taichung over to Monterrey, Mexico. It's the same latitude, but it felt like 1,000,000 degrees cooler, even though it was in the middle of the desert.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's a dry heat.
Dry heat.
I love
Sound
a dry
like people
heat.
from Winnipeg.
I know. I love a dry heat.
It's wet cold. You guys go there.
Yeah. I know that because it's Northern Ontario.
Yeah, sure. I'm Timmins. It's gross. It's cold.
It is.
That's where the flies are big as your fist.
Literally, mosquito season is all the time.
Well, it's a good reason.
I hate that. I would lose my mind.
It's terrible, but it's beautiful.
And okay, so then you went Taiwan to Mexico?
Yeah, 7 years in Mexico. Yeah.
Why didn't I know that? I feel like I should have known that. 7 years in Mexico. Where were you in Mexico?
Monterrey, which is about 2 hours drive south of the Texas border.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I did a lot of time in Texas, a lot of friends up there. It was an American school, beautiful school, richest community in all of Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Insane wealth, but cool country, great history. Yeah, NAFTA really worked well for that city. It really did. The middle class grew, and
is that because they were so close to the border? Does that have anything to do?
That's
okay.
Everything to do.
I don't know what NAFTA is.
NAFTA is the North American Free Trade Agreement. that
He's here to educate us.
I know.
Sometime in the early 90s, I think it was 93 or 94, and basically all the businesses that used to be in Ontario that shut their doors, like I think British American Tobacco in the Guelph area, that's where my buddy lives, they just moved down to Mexico because the labor is cheaper.
Okay.
And non-existent environmental regulations.
I hate that, but okay, fair.
Yeah.
Is NAFTA still a thing?
It is a thing, but it's been redrawn.
Okay.
It's I'm never going to be able to say anything about Donald Trump. Anything good about
we
Donald
understand
Trump.
that. We appreciate that.
But one of the things he campaigned on was that the North American Free Trade Agreement benefited Mexico more than it benefited the United States. He was partially right. A lot of things he says are only partially right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was renegotiated. I think it's called the USMC.
I remember reading about this, but I had no idea what
that's
it
the
meant.
Marine Corps. Anyways, it's the US Mexico Canada agreement. It's NAFTA. It's just been redone in certain ways. But what he didn't realize is that all of that business going down to Mexico created a middle class. And you know what really, really changed? The amount of illegal immigrants coming across the southern border after 1994 plummeted because they
could afford to live in their own country.
Had work. So a lot of the people coming across the U.S. southern border now are El Salvadorans and Guatemalans and Hondurans. They just go through Mexico to get to the United States. So it's not a question of. I think Donald Trump thinks everyone Latino are Mexicans.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, this is what my class is like.
I'm in his class for this.
Can I take one of your classes?
Taken back.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to share the wealth. That's the thing. It's all about redistribution of wealth. I know I sound like all kind of left wingy. I vote for Green Party kind of, which I do, but you got to share the wealth. If you want to control the borders, share the wealth.
Yeah.
Give people a reason to stay home other than awesome food.
Yeah.
Mexican food.
So good.
Love.
So good.
Chilangas is reopening.
American food.
Oh yeah, I know. Closer to where I live.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. You just took me on a journey. How'd you end up in Quinte after
This is our number one first choice of the place to move.
Really?
Number one, because we moved back to be closer to family.
Yeah.
All the family lives in Ottawa, and I didn't want to live in Ottawa because I went to high school there, but I didn't want to be in a situation where I would have command performances to see my parents, or I wanted to be an ordeal's distance away. They would have to plan, pack a bag, and come. And this was the number one area. It has everything. It had affordable real estate. I said had. It had affordable real estate. We had OHL hockey.
Yeah.
We had an ungodly number of golf courses.
There are a lot of golf courses.
There's crazy amount of golf courses.
Are you a golfer then?
I have clubs.
You like the idea of golfing.
I like the idea of being good at golfing, and it's Yeah, it doesn't. It's challenging. Sometimes
it is challenging. I'm trying to convince Kay to get into golf.
I've golfed once.
She says she'll drive the cart for me.
Yeah.
All right, you golf?
I try and golf. I'm not good at it.
We'll
go golfing. I'm not good. I barely get but I did bring up that my parents sent me to golf camp as a child, because why not? Didn't learn anything.
I wasn't allowed to go to golf camp.
Why not religious enough?
So I wasn't allowed to go to golf camp or synchronized swimming.
So that's on that topic's on the table?
Anything's on the table.
Whatever you want. Yeah, I don't know. I know I was allowed to do Girl Guides, dance class, soccer to toughen me up, and
soccer toughened you up. I'm the senior soccer coach.
No, it really didn't. I picked flowers.
Oh yeah,
I was a ballerina. No, I was I don't know. I danced my whole life. That was my thing, and I was just.
It's a whole thing on this podcast that Kay's grandma told her she was too pretty for manual labor, which we love here. Yeah, I love it. And I'm like, my parents told me I was just good enough looking to do the manual labor. And here we are on
my
a podcast.
My wife's going to tell me, Bob, you have a face made for radio. So.
Where did you meet your wife? And did she
in Periera?
Really?
Yeah, our desks were side by side.
Oh, shut up!
That's so cute.
That's so cute.
And we started dating in our second year there, and then we decided to get a job together. Live in sin. And
I love living in sin.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty
Would
cool.
recommend everyone listening.
And then we got engaged when we were in Medellin, and we flew up here to get married with family, I think 24 years ago.
Wow.
After a while, you kind of forget the number.
My parents fully forgot their anniversary this year. It was great.
No, you just forget the number. We always sit there and go, what year is it? And my wife has an aunt who always sends us a card that has the number on it. I go, 23. What do you know? So
sweet.
And yeah, we got married, and she is a lovely human being because she's got to live with me. So she's got a degree of tolerance. She knows when to just walk away and let me have my little tantrums. And
that's a good quality to have, is to to know when to just be like, okay, bye.
I honestly couldn't live without her. I mean, it's one of those things that when she's not around, I miss her like crazy. I always joke I'm going to Dave's house and I'll be gone the weekend. And halfway in the drive, I'm going, I miss her.
Oh God, that's so cute.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Do you have any single siblings?
Siblings? No. It's one of the things. She's got a huge family, and I've got a sister who really doesn't like me. My parents live in British Columbia now.
Do they?
Yeah, they live in Okanagan. We moved here and they immediately moved away.
Oh my God.
That's a message.
I thought they lived in Ottawa.
They did.
And then
they immediately moved away.
They were like, you're too close.
No, it's kind of like, we got other things to do. So
I guess good for them, living their best retired life.
Yeah, I went to visit them. It's a nice place just on the U.S. border.
BC's, yeah.
Osoyoos is, you think Oromocto is hard to say, but Osoyoos is.
That's hard too. I'm not great with words.
It's a nice little touristy in town, and they travel. And
love it.
Good for them.
They're happy.
Hey, Katie.
Have you ever thought about advertising on a podcast?
Actually, I think about it all the time.
So do I. I don't actually have anything to advertise.
No, neither do I. But I mean, I think about it because I want people to advertise on our podcast.
I would love for people to advertise on our podcast.
If you want to do that, you can shoot us a DM.
DM us, slide in.
And we'll send you all the info you need. Yeah.
Kay has that info. Man, we are legit. So you want to advertise. So if you are a local up and coming business and you don't have a huge advertising budget, but you have a little bit, hit us up. We're here to help.
We want to help you push that stuff on socials, and we have a whole plan. And we want to help champion some other local businesses.
What do you like about teaching? Tell us about teaching.
Oh my God.
It's real broad.
It is, but
I'll tell you what I remember. Do you want me to tell you what I remember as you as my teacher? Maybe.
Maybe.
No, one thing is he taught me how to write an essay. I
yeah,
was
because
not.
we all need essay writing in our.
honestly, I really think it
bullshitted my
helped.
way through every essay.
I taught you how to write an essay when you don't know all the information and how to hide it.
And he taught me to be on time because if there was two bells, there was like the bell, like class, and then there was the bell that like period started. And if you missed the second bell, he closed his door and locked it. So you couldn't even try and sneak in.
I let you in.
Eventually, but we had to stand in shame in the hallway like we're late.
Because you thought the first bell meant, there's going to be another bell to tell me to go to class. Like, what world
we did.
exists like that?
Like, the one bell would ring and we'd all like still be sitting there. And then we'd be like, we should go to class.
I'm positive I was perfect when I was in high school.
Really? You think so?
No. It's funny. I did a course. I had to do a course at Trent University this summer. So I went back to university again.
What was that like?
Way harder than I thought.
I was going to say, did you party a lot?
No, it's all remote. I don't understand how people do online learning.
I'm doing it right now.
It's horrible.
I'm taking courses at Algonquin.
Oh, you're a better human being than I am.
No, I'm not. It's horror. It's so scary. I have an assignment where 30% of my mark due next week. And I'm just like, I don't feel like I've learned anything.
Yeah.
But I have.
We have to have really good self-regulation.
It's so hard. I don't have
I just pulled that word out. You have to have a really good self-regulation to do online work.
It's really hard.
What course did you have to do?
I did macroeconomics.
What is that?
It is looking at the economy of a region, whether it's a country or a globally, and looking at it from the top down. So in other words, doing things like controlling inflation and making sure people are working and everything that's going on right now is macroeconomic problems. Microeconomics is looking at it from the bottom up. So the station, we'd look at it as the local radio market or the provincial radio market.
But macro is looking at like the huge picture.
Top down, bottom up.
Oh, wow. Good for you taking that online.
Yeah, it was.
Is it a little dry?
Oh my God, I worked so hard. I worked so hard and it was, yeah. I don't even remember what we were talking about. You asked me. And I said,
what do you love about teaching? Tell us about teaching.
Yeah, it wasn't going to that class. That was definitely
not that one.
That was not the fun part. The professor was a good person. Guess he still is. What I like, I don't know. I get to hang out with younger people. I have a degree in history. You know what that qualifies you to do?
Not a whole lot.
My job. My job. And there's actually one of the provincial expectations that I'm supposed to teach people is that with a degree in history, what can you do in life? And I said, my job, and I'm not retiring anytime soon. Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I hit the 12th grade, I was like, I want to take art history. My mom's like, what are you going to do with that? And I was like, art history, duh.
It doesn't, yeah.
And I was like, work in a museum. No. And she was like, no.
Shop.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Well, but so you kind of hit the jackpot with your degrray.
Well, I knew this is what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I knew this was it. Actually, I remember I was in grade 12. So we had grade 13 way back in the day. A representative from Queen's University went. I didn't really have a choice of where I went to school. My grandfather went there in the 20s, and so. You know, it always used to be, Bobby, do you hear anything from Queens or any of those other schools? So anyways, and there was this, I was picking up brochures and picked up one for Con Ed, and I said, maybe I'll be a teacher. It worked.
Wow.
Yeah, I love what I do. And so I get to talk about history or politics or now economics. It's my fourth year teaching economics. The first year, I know I'm probably not supposed to swear, but total shit show.
No, we say shit show a lot.
It's so hard to teach something. Like didn't I teach you were you in Danny's class?
Yeah.
Okay, so I taught you in like family studies.
Oh yeah, it was his first year of family studies.
And it was the only year because I became the department head and immediately got rid of the course.
Yeah, because usually what happened in family studies is like we'd take home an egg, Like years before
we didn't do the egg thing.
We didn't. He's like, I'm not doing the egg thing because people had to like take care of an egg for a week and not kill it.
Just like a fridge egg or
fridge
like
egg.
I don't know. I didn't do it.
He was like, I'm not doing the egg thing.
I think everyone asked for the egg thing. I don't
know what it was supposed to teach me.
We had like the babies.
No, we didn't.
I didn't take the class because I was like, F that.
I have a friend. She said the thing kept crying. I shook it, and it still kept crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
doesn't work like
that. That's the wrong thing to do. I want people to know that I'm not advocating that.
Don't shake your baby. Bad news. Bear.
Don't do it.
But it takes a while to teach a new class, and I didn't like that. That was McIntyre's class, Molly's.
Yeah.
Molly's the best teacher I ever met. Molly McIntyre.
Yeah,
best teacher. She's
great. Teachers do change lives.
I fully agree with that. Like 100,000%.
And I feel like as a student, like you never forget your high school teachers.
Oh yeah. Like there's definitely one or two pivotal teachers that one of them was because she crushed all of my dreams.
Okay.
And
so not like a positive.
No, it was a very negative. She was also my guidance counselor, which made things very questionable.
Dream crusher.
Yeah, completely crushed all my dreams. I dropped out 2 weeks before graduation.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know it was that close to graduation.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. But then the other teacher...
Trauma.
Yeah. No, but then there was lots of good teachers that one of them challenged me all the time and I loved it. Like she was my grade 11, grade 12 English teacher. And she was certifiably probably a little bit crazy. She had like this Elmo doll or a Grover doll that she strapped in her car.
That's weird.
And she was mean. Like she was
Sorry, and you liked this woman?
Loved her. Because she was direct.
Did she ever lock you out in the hallway?
No.
So you're still winning on that one.
She really didn't like me like at all, but I loved the way, because she was so direct. Like a lot of other, I don't know, I don't deal with like kind of sugarcoating things.
Yeah.
And she was always just kind of like, this is wrong because of this, or, you know, she always like challenged me to look at things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that. And I liked it. But she was probably a little nuts.
Aren't all people, like all great people, a little nuts?
I just remembered with the story that we got sidetracked on. I have a feeling that sidetracking is a big thing.
Big thing. In this podcast, yeah.
So when I applied for that course at Trent, I thought they were going to ask me for my university transcript, which is like, I'm going to my 30th graduation reunion in a few weeks. So I'm digging through my files, and then I found all of my report cards, like from grade 1 on. My mom gave it. I took some photos of the comments. Number one, I wasn't nearly as good a student as I thought I was. I thought I was pretty special. I was mediocrely special.
That makes me feel better about myself, to be honest, because I think I was also just mediocre, you know? That's what you have to strive for.
I was mediocre, but that's cool.
Good.
But the comments like from grade 1 just nailed it right on there. You know, Bobby has problems of paying attention.
Shocking.
It's like they nailed it. So I read them to my economics class last semester just for fun. If they were good Friday, let's find out what Bob was like in 1976.
Oh, beautiful. That's great. All of mine say like Katie struggles with self-regulation and she talks too much.
Oh, you never talk too much.
Not in your class. No, you scared me.
Oh, I'm badass.
Yeah. No, because new teachers like would try. I think I was a student. New teachers tried to put in place. There was an art teacher that came for a semester and she tried to put me in my place. And I was like, this is a poor decision on your part because I am loud.
Oh, that's what I like about you. That's what I liked about people like Danny and stuff like that. Did I ever tell? That's one thing that happened in your class. We allowed to say things about Danny Manning.
Yeah, okay. He listens to the pod. He's in Italy right now.
He's going to like that I remember this. You know, in class, I always say, like, come on, try it. It's not rocket surgery.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing. So one time in that class, he says to me outside, he says, I need for you to do me a little bit of a bro. Number one, at that point, I've never done a bro for people before. So
this was also in Danny's like gym days when he was really into lifting. So keep going.
And he was saying like, I got to get out of class early. I can't tell you what, but I got to leave like 10 minutes early. I said, okay, go inside the class and just go with it. It's all right. He goes inside. And then I asked him for something I knew he didn't have. That's it. I am sick of it. You get out. And then a couple of weeks later, he brought me a T-shirt that had like this surgeon over top of a missile and said, "It's not rocket surgery."
That's amazing.
Great.
Yeah, it's a great story.
I think too in your class it was like respect, because you didn't, if people were doing something bad, you didn't say like yell at them right there. You'd say stay after class, and then you didn't yell at us. Then you just spoke to us like we were humans, and you were like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, it's respect. Everyone has dignity. Yeah, sometimes we're not perfect. No. Sometimes the right buttons get pushed and stuff, but the teachers generally feel bad when those moments happen. But yeah, Dan's good people. They're good people too.
Thank you.
There's actually, that class is full of really good folks.
We were a weird group of people, but I loved it.
Yeah, you're good. Okay.
You ready? No?
Hit me.
How did you find out you had cancer?
Oh gosh. That's quite the
That's a heavy
segue.
hitter.
Yeah,
that's a heavy
That's
segue.
what we do. We're really bad at turning point. Segueing, yeah.
So my cancer developed on my arm. So there was just like this lump on the arm. I guess it was like work leg or something like that. And I can still remember my wife saying, "You should get that checked out." And I would say, "No, don't worry about it. I'm not going to get it checked out." And that went on for probably about 6 months. Oh, hindsight. And it was the day after parent-teacher interviews. I can remember because we had that day off. And I was down in the basement, probably watching Entourage.
Classic show.
Classic show, Johnny Drama. And and I remember I had my arm up like that, and it did the stereotypical like scratching of the armpit, really sexy moment. And there was like a lump, like a golf ball under my arm. And I texted my wife and she said, "Okay, we'll see about it." And I went to see the doctor. That was a Friday, so I went to see the doctor on Monday. My doctor, wonderful, wonderful person. And she set me up with every single test that you could have. Like, people criticize the Ontario or the Canadian healthcare systems. It works. Mm-hmm. If you hurt your knee, it's going to take a while to work. If you possibly have cancer, you don't wait for anything. I had CT scans, I had MRIs, a really, really uncomfortable bone scan, all kinds of things. And it was on my anniversary, December 20th, that my doctor, Dr. Allen, I don't know if she listens to it, but she's lovely. And she says, "It's probably cancer." And so she set me up with Dr. Levesque in Belleville General. And that weekend, she called me to make sure I was okay on the weekend. She's so great. And Dr. Levesque said, "Yeah, it's cancer, but they misdiagnosed it." It's hard to tell. Cancer is just like when certain cells just reproduce
abnormally. Yeah.
And so I don't know how doctors figure out what kinds of cancer. It's all Hogwarts stuff to me, It's
magic.
It's the dark arts. And
that's what I'm calling cancer from now on. You have the dark arts.
Go to the potions teacher. They know what to do.
Snape.
You're in Slytherin now.
And so just basically from there, they took a biopsy of the lump. And the lump was growing by that point. And then they removed it, and they removed my lymph nodes. So the way cancer works is the original tumor, that's stage 1, spreads to the lymph nodes, stage 2.
What's a lymph node do?
Lymph nodes are like, it's funny, I have less of them now, but I can...
In my mind, they have to do with sweating, but I don't think that's
correct.
It's
something about like they're like a filter in the body.
Oh.
One of the things I've learned in teaching is to recognize the things you don't know.
Yeah.
So I only kind of, are you looking up?
I'm looking it up now, yeah.
It's kind of like a filter in the body system. So that's stage 2. You have them here, up on your neck, and then down in the pelvic area.
Okay.
And so they removed them. And then I did my radiation treatment. Mm-hmm. And Dan's shirt, it's not rocket surgery shirt, was my radiation shirt because I ended up getting 3rd-degree burns all down my arm and armpit.
So this girl I follow on Instagram, she has breast cancer right now, and she's being very transparent about it. And her entire breast from her nipple to her upper arm is just blister.
Oh,
so that's what radiation is.
Yeah, it depends where they have to give you the radiation treatment. So mine was very superficial. So they put what they call a bolus, which is I don't know, it's almost like a piece of rubber over top of it.
Is it and shows that mesh netting looking rubber stuff?
No. That's worse. Different. That's worse. People have getting the radiation on their face or brain, and they put this mesh mask over them.
God.
Okay.
But they put that on, and so the radiation only goes down a certain distance. So my guess is with the breast cancer, the tumor is closer to the surface.
Yeah.
And so it was fine. There's 25 treatments, and for the first 20, there's no problem. Then I started noticing something, and after a while, it was 3rd-degree burns. And I can't even imagine people in burn wards how incredibly painful that was, because I would move and the skin would rip.
No.
Yeah. And that was amongst the worst pain of it. So I had that done, and then it was chemotherapy time. And so it was not that. Then we found out the cancer had spread to both my lungs.
And is that because it was originally misdiagnosed?
No. I had a melanoma, and for people listening on this and they go melanoma, you're going, whoa, this is not good. So stage 1 is the tumor, stage 2 is the lymph nodes, stage 3 is adjacent organs. So it spread to both my lungs. So I had to have surgeries to remove tumors from my lungs, and then I had my the chemotherapy, and the chemotherapy was heavy duty. The painful part is because chemotherapy basically is like a poison. It kills everything, eh? And you need white blood cells for your immune system, I think.
Yeah.
So Google it.
So no, that's what it is. I know this. My dad had Hodgkin's lymphoma, so
Then he probably had the same thing. In order to produce the white blood cells, brutal. you need to basically grow it's platelets or something like that inside the bone marrow. And so they give you an injection and stuff called Neulasta, and it's literally, it feels like your bones are expanding. I've heard it's a COVID-y feeling, in the sense of people get body aches. The pain was you couldn't move because it just felt like your bones were expanding from the inside.
So you had to get that shot before you had chemo?
I had it every week while I was having chemo. There's only 6 treatments of chemo, but they get progressively worse. And you end up losing hair. Obviously, I'm follically challenged to begin with.
What? You don't have hair?
What? I embrace the bald, but you lose everything when the eyebrows go and the eyelashes go. I look like Uncle Fester from the Addams Family.
I didn't even think you'd lose your eyelashes.
Oh, you lose everything.
Wow.
So your self-image takes a beating, and so I went through that, and then tumors started coming back in my right lung. They're still there today, and the doctor said, "Yeah, there's nothing else we can do." And he just walked out of the room, and I'm in Kingston, and I'm sitting there going, "So he's telling me I'm going to die?"
What the fuck?
No, it gets better, Katie.
Like in a good way?
It gets better in a worse way.
Okay, let's do it. I'm ready. I'm not crying.
I went down into the underground parking garage at Queens and the KGH, and I ripped some guy a new asshole. I don't even remember why, but I drove back and I was in shock, basically.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready. I went back to school, and some of the students had, hey, we're going to collect money for Belleville General for the Cancer Centre. And I knew I was dying and I couldn't tell them or tell anyone. And so I went to a cottage over the summer, and I had a massive seizure, and they found out that I had brain tumors. Stage 1, the arm. Stage 2 is the lymph nodes. Stage 3, adjacent organs, non-adjacent organ.
Stage 4.
Yeah, stage 4. And
I'm clenching my butt so much.
No, it gets slightly worse, and then a whole lot better.
Okay, we're ready.
Slightly worse. Let's go.
The roller coaster
slightly worse. So I ended up having brain surgery, and they removed a tumor. There's still a tumor up there. That's why sometimes I'm aware of it. You two probably aren't, but sometimes I'll slur my words.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
So I have an aphasia. Sometimes, we're talking about something, I'll say, what were we talking about? Which is really fun in the class because they can set me off on a tangent in seconds. And while I was in the hospital, they went, oh, this is a melanoma. And I went, melanoma? It's like Uncle Buck. This is like, remember that? Buck melanoma.
Yeah.
And I think, that's skin cancer. That's good. No, it wasn't good. So I get sent over to doctor at KGH, best doctor in the world. I owe her my life. And she said, do you want me to sugarcoat it or do you want me to give it to you straight?
Let's give it to us straight, I guess. But if I cry, it's gone.
And so it was July, and she said, if we do nothing, you're not going to see Christmas.
Holy shit.
And he says, the good news is Health Canada 2 months ago just approved a new immunotherapy regime. And I was on that immunotherapy for 2.5 years and saved my life.
Did it shrink it?
The tumors are still in my lung.
Yeah.
But they're microscopic. So 2 weeks I'm going for another MRI to look at the brain tumor to see if it's advanced. That's the word they use. And they're going to do a CT to see if the tumors are growing in my lungs. So it's kind of good that they're there, but if it doesn't grow, I'm hoping that this is going to be the one where she says, I don't want to see anymore because I've been in remission for about 5 years.
Wow.
So crazy story. I think my mom's getting the same treatment or had the same treatment because she had pancreatic cancer and then now she has liver cancer. And
liver cancer is probably,
So she went through this, it was in the testing stage before it got approved by Health Canada. And a nurse would drive out here every 2 weeks or whatever it was. And she would give her whatever it was and then leave. And then now people are getting it and she's constantly being monitored by all these people. And
I was the second person out of Kingston to get this, dream.
Immunotherapy.
Immunotherapy, basically what it is we think about, a cancer drug, what's going to cure cancer, and say, it's going to be a drug that'll kill the cancer. But this scientist whose name I cannot remember from Japan, who won the Nobel Prize for biochemistry for making this, basic idea is that the drug is called pembrolizumab. So Pembro basically attacks an inhibitor inside my blood and lets my own immune system take care of the cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's we're not going to figure it out going head on. Let's attack it from behind.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
Was it because chemo obviously takes a toll on your body and radiation?
Chemo was awful.
Insane. So does immunotherapy have anything like that, or is it?
Yeah, you ask good questions.
Thanks, I had great teachers.
Hey-o.
Oh my goodness. It wasn't that bad. It's there are things. I have chronic fatigue, so I can't work full time. This is my nap time.
Oh no!
No.
We're taking away nap time. I understand the importance of nap time.
Yeah, we do love nap time.
They got me an extra large chair in school so I could nap, and sometimes there's snoring coming from my office. I'm assuming in my mind I don't snore.
Nobody snores in their own mind. That's the best part.
My snoring doesn't bother me. But the fatigue is probably the part of it. But I mean, it was every 3 weeks for 2.5 years. And it usually knocked me out for a weekend. So I had to sleep when I got home. And I took little substances to help me sleep.
We love those substances.
Yeah, I took some of those to help me sleep, all medically prescribed.
Yes.
I said to my doctor, I asked her about cannabis. I said, I just don't like taking pills. And she looked at me and said, "Oh, Bob, you got the wrong disease."
Well, our family friend, I'll lay this out, but Kate Torres had breast cancer.
Yes, I ran into Ed at the cancer center a couple of times.
Oh, was it? Okay, it was similar. I would guess it would be similar timing, yeah. And my mom would go to chemo with her, and then her side effects were so bad. So I would go, this was before like dispensaries. So I would go to my drug dealer, buy weed, and then my dad and I would sit there and roll a joint to give to her.
Aww.
It's a thing, like the nausea. They would give you, before you go into chemo, they'd give you these 2 anti-nausea pills, and they call them the football because they're about that big. Like they're huge pills. So you take the football the night before, and then you take another one as you're sitting in the chair in the chemo ward. And I mean, it's something. The stuff they gave me, it was bright red. It's called dioxyrubicin. I don't know why I remember that. And it's hard. Like when you said that Kate allowed your mom to take her. I mean, it's hard. You have to really, really trust the person who's taking it, because I mean, it's the most vulnerable you're going to be. Like halfway through, like they fill you full of saline first, and then they hit you with the drug. So you go to the washroom, end up pissing bright red, and it's just like all the resilience you have very temporarily just goes right out of you, because you just realize what's going on. I can still remember the day that my beard fell out too. I was at a hockey tournament with Ryan out in the county, and this one guy comes up to me, "What's that all over your sweater?" And I go,
"It's my face.
It's my beard. It's falling out."
No.
My beard before cancer used to be brown. Not anymore.
It aged you.
So does it grow back white now? Like, I mean, obviously there's aging,
I
but
think
whatever.
it actually accelerated. I've heard people about their hair growing back like completely different colors.
That's like,
I've also heard people growing back like curly hair after.
I've heard that one as well too.
Mark Hoppus from Blink-182 is all white now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he just finished his chemo.
You're now a silver fox. That's what that's called.
Yeah.
Tell your wife.
Yeah.
You say you're so lucky you're the silver fox.
Yeah.
So I also see you have a tattoo now, which I don't think
I have multiple tattoos now.
Tell
us about the tattoos.
This one is this one on my forearm. I put it on the forearm so I could see it when I needed to see it. So it says, let's see, this is when I get emotional. So wait. Okay.
Did you clench? We're clenching.
It's just every day I fight, and this 2 little Ashanti symbols here. It means perseverance, and I use it all the time. I'll be bike riding, and I'm suddenly going, "Oh, I'm gonna die." Okay, I can go up this hill.
I can manage that.
And then we did the Enbridge Ride to conquer cancer. Myself, Jane Moody, Kirby Fredericks.
Harris.
Yeah, Harris did it as well too. You announced it every single kilometer you went, he was going, "Kilometer 2."
Did that drive you crazy?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
I feel like I'd be like, I don't want to know I'm at kilometer 25.
But that's him.
Yeah.
And because I got 2 massive doses of radiation at Princess Margaret Hospital, so like hour-long doses of radiation, and that's where my aphasia comes from. It's called the Gamma Knife. Totally cool name. I know.
I've
heard of this.
I know, right?
The Gamma Knife.
Oh, Bob needs some Gamma Knife. Ooh, needs second Gamma Knife. They literally put you into a halo. They bolt it in. There's actually, you can see some of the halo scars, and then they bolt you down onto the bed. And
this sounds like a superhero movie and terrifying.
Oh, it's so funny because it has a bar right along your mouth, and my dad brought me some M&Ms, and I'm like, I kept hitting the bar with it. And what were we talking about? Right.
The
Bike
problem
riding.
is we are both bad at remembering where we're going on our tangent.
So the art teacher at school, Milton, she made a logo. So I have another one in the back of my leg of the logo. It's like a dragon on a bicycle. And then, so those
because his nickname at school was Big Dragon. I probably should have said that earlier. I don't know why it was, but it was like dragon.
It's Big Dragon.
Big Dragon.
Big Dragon. Okay.
So I like that it's a dragon.
And I have another one on my, that I got last summer on my calf. And it's just because I wanted it, because it's cool.
We
it's
like
the
that
Mexican
snap.
Sugar skull. Guy down in Picton.
Oh, really?
Ian Langdon?
Ian Langdon at the
Picton Tattoo Club.
Picton Tattoo Club. Awesome. You ever want that traditional style tattoo? He's the guy.
He's so
Shout
good.
out if you listen to this, Ian, I get a freebie, okay? A little banger
It's like
for
a
free.
coupon. It's a coupon for the shout out.
It's a little banger for free there. He's awesome. So yeah, I like, you know what it was? It's like you have chemotherapy, and so you're sitting back and you're half drooling all the time. I'd already finished all Entourage by that point. So
this was 2017. Entourage is long gone.
and so you end up watching Ink Master and Dave Navarro.
So was that your show? That was your chemo show, Ink Master.
That and Breaking Bad. But Dave Navarro is like gotta be one of the coolest human beings that's ever lived.
Do you have like a bro crush on him?
I think I used to.
Yeah,
I think
that's fair.
My bro crush is now like Idris Elba. Like,
Oh, he's so hot.
Okay.
You know what?
She's Googling for me.
I don't generally swing that way, but I might.
Everyone will for like good
Idris Elba is
Jen McKay's crush.
He's
Idris Elba.
deceptively good-looking man.
Okay.
He really is. You've seen him in Luther, like the BBC Luther.
Is he actually going to be the 007?
My guess is that there'll be too much of a...
Oh, yeah. That's so understandable.
He's Heimdall from like the Thor movies.
Beautiful.
He's beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's just everything.
I agree with that. Man crush.
Yeah, he's probably my man crush. But at the time, I watched a lot of Ink Master, and I said, yeah, what the heck?
And once you got one, you realize it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but you got to watch out when you're 52. You have to choose your places really carefully. You're going, it's like, what area is going to be the last to sag?
Yeah, I did not plan that out
Me
at
neither.
all. I was 18. I'm like, yeah, let's tattoo right across my chest.
Yeah, well,
nothing bad is going to happen.
I did lower
and then
back.
you have babies.
Well, that's the problem. I have one on my back from way back when, but I haven't seen it in decades.
It's okay because I hate my back tattoos, so I forget it's there.
Yeah,
and then people will be like, "Oh, what a great tattoo!" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
I didn't even know you had back tattoos.
I have one, and then
what is it?
I'm like, I hate it. It's a tree turning into birds because I was 16.
Of course it is.
And I said it. I'm never stuck in one place, Mom.
Oh my God, that is the most quintessential white girl tattoo.
And the eagle soars alone.
Yeah, I'm like, let me fly. So,
and I've got a PBR can.
Yeah, you do have a PBR can.
You couldn't even have chosen good beer.
No,
it's
like hipster beer.
Oh my.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
she has one. We accept it. How did the whole cancer situation? Is that what we'll call it? Experience. Thank you. How did that change your perspective on your life?
I saw myself more as a teacher before, and I don't care about. Well, obviously, I care about my job and I care about what I do and the people I work with, but there's just a lot of things that are more important now. And my philosophy is you do what makes you happy. That's it. And, students at school, why are you doing this? Why do you want to go to university? My parents want. Okay, what do you want? What's going to make you happy?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go to university. I shouldn't say that because that's kind of the raisin debt tree of the school. I do what makes you happy. That's how it's changed me. I still have bad days. Like once in a while, I have
for
bad
sure.
days.
Yeah. You can't. I feel like you can't not have a bad day.
Screw happy. I'm just going to be pissy all day.
That was amazing.
It's gonna go on a t-shirt.
It is. I'm going to embroider it on a t-shirt. That was great though. I almost cried many times.
Yeah, that was it hit me right in the feelies.
Happy tears, sad tears, like inspired tears.
I had to do that butt clench thing.
I think we were all clenching our butts, just not to. Because, it is a lot, but he came out on top.
I am inspired by him.
And I think
ever since talking to him, I feel like I'm living life like less. I have less guilt for the things that I do, because that's what I struggle with the most is guilt.
Yeah, and I think I always try to like work and put my whole life into my job, and he made me not feel bad for not feeling like I should be doing that. Like I can still do other things and enjoy life and sit down sometimes, and that my worth isn't just from working.
Yes,
which was really nice.
That's a really great lesson.
It was a great lesson.
Like he's teaching you things when you're not even in school.
I know. Like who would have thunk? We almost have 900 downloads, which is sick.
That's insane.
And tomorrow we're going to do a giveaway on Instagram because I finished a patch, a Babes of Quinte patch.
Number 2.
It's not much, but you want it because it's the first.
We can throw in a sticker too.
Yeah.
So I think I have one more sticker.
We have one last sticker. So
and we have magnets coming.
And a patch. And
speaking of, those should be here soon.
Maybe you'll get a magnet. We don't know.
Maybe you'll get a magnet. If they arrive by the time, then you'll get a magnet too.
It's Thanksgiving this weekend, which doesn't really mean anything to me except I get to eat.
Yeah, it means nothing except for I know that I have to bring dessert to my parents' house, and I'm stressed out over it. Even though someone else is making it for me.
Just buy it.
No, I did, but I'm still stressed over it because I still don't know how many people are going to be there.
Oh, that is stressful. I had to think about that for a second.
I'm bringing dessert, but I also don't know how many people I'm buying for. So I'm going to buy too much.
Well, Friday, actually, I'm going to see Loiselle, and I'm pretty pumped.
Stop it.
Oh. We're going.
We're done anyways.